Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, I'm Badruddin Muhammad and you're watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television. These are the main stories making headlines. Somaliland Vice President holds a press conference at his office. Somaliland Deputy Minister of Defense commented on Somaliland opposition parties' call on large rallies against the extension of President's term. Somaliland Vice President, His Excellency Abdurrahman Abdullahi Ismail Saila'i, who spoke on Wednesday to the local press, has called on opposition parties to attend a meeting that is set to end difference opinion about the elections. The Vice President of Somaliland held a press conference to discuss the difference between the opposition political parties and the government of Somaliland. The Vice President of Somaliland, Abdurrahman Abdullahi Ismail Saila'i, held a press conference at his office in the Presidential Palace. The Vice President of Somaliland, speaking in the press conference, elaborated on the significance of negotiations between the national parties and the government of Somaliland. The Vice President of Somaliland, Abdurrahman Abdullahi Ismail Saila'i, expressed the historic background of Somaliland conflict resolution system, and he stated that the people of Somaliland have a valuable culture of solving their disputes. The Vice President of Somaliland mentioned that the government of Somaliland is ready to have negotiations with opposition political parties. Somaliland Deputy Minister of Defense, Mr. Jama Abdullahi Bin, speaking to the local media, commented on Somaliland opposition parties' call on large rallies against the extension of President's term, saying that such talks may impose risks to the national security.
The Deputy Minister of Defense, Mr. Jama Abdullahi Bin, speaking to the local media, commented on Somaliland opposition parties' call on large rallies against the extension of President's term, saying that such talks might impose risks to the national security. The Deputy Minister stated that the National Army are now busy to strengthen the borders, participate in the 18th May celebrations, and detecting risks amongst our community. Therefore, we are disappointed with the call of protest against President's term extension by the opposition parties, and we will not tolerate that.
Somaliland National Television's Intellectuals Desk organized a debate program which had in attendance by Somaliland government officials, parliamentarians and intellectuals to discuss the fruitful results out of Somaliland people's decision to regain independence.
Somaliland National Television's Intellectual Desk organized a debate program which had attendance by Somaliland government officials, parliamentarians and intellectuals to discuss the fruitful results out of Somaliland's people's decision to regain independence. Among the attendees, the Deputy Minister of Planning, Minister of State of Resources, Director General of Ministry of Posts and Telecommunication, Second Deputy Chairman of Kulmiya Party, and the President of New Generation University in the capital. Parliamentarian Wabe explained Somaliland's relation with neighboring countries and had stated, "We have very strong political and cooperation relations with our neighboring countries, for example, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Djibouti. Somaliland community have business relations with Gulf countries including Yemen and Saudi Arabia." The Deputy Minister of Planning and National Development enlightened a possible approach that may result the realization of the international recognition.
The women wing for Kulmiya ruling party in the capital, who turned out on Wednesday, have fully expressed their support for the recent decision made by Somaliland Upper House of Parliament to extend the timeline for presidential and parliamentary elections. As part of series of comments on the recent decision by Somaliland House of Kurti on extending the tenure of presidential and parliamentary elections, women wing of Kulmiya party have shown on Wednesday their full support of taking this step forward. They also, on the other hand, elaborated on the significance of providing full support to the House of Kurti, as they are the only final house for resolving and minor disputes that arises among the people. The chairman of the women for Kulmiya party, Anab Omar Elaye, spoke in the press conference while she elaborated the important role of the Somaliland Chamber of Elders. She also mentioned that they paid their support to the House of Elders decision. The Deputy Chairman, Dalais, also spoke in the press conference and she showed the support they have to the House of Elders. Following a district commissioner who granted an exclusive interview to Somaliland National Television has expressed full support to the Somaliland House of Elders for their decision to extend presidential and parliament term.
Following district commissioner has expressed full support to the Somaliland House of Elders for the decision to extend presidential and parliamentary term. Farawena District Commissioner, speaking on Wednesday to SLN TV, has reiterated that the Council is the only entity that has the mandate to extend the timeline for holding presidential and parliamentary elections in the Republic of Somaliland during the press conference. He further pledged to fully support decisions by House of Elders regarding the tension. He further pledged to fully support decisions by the House of Elders regarding the extension of the timeline for the elections. On the other hand, the Commissioner has urged residents of the district to fully participate and prepare themselves for the National Day of Somaliland Independence, 18th May. That's just away for a few days.
That's all news we have for you. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.